Okay, so next up we have the Baltimore Ravens. So similar to the Buffalo Bills, who we profiled earlier today, the Ravens are quite late in the draft order, but they don't have too many glaring holes which urgently need to be addressed in this year's draft. The Ravens currently have 7 selections in this year's draft and are picking 27th overall in the first round, 58th overall in the second round. They have a third round compensatory pick for the loss of coach David Culley. They have their original 4th, 5th and 6th round picks, and then they also have a compensatory pick in the 5th round for the loss of free agent Michael Pierce at the end of the 2019 season. Now, the Ravens' original 3rd round pick went to the Vikings. They sent that to them midway through 2021 to acquire Yannick Ngakoue. And that's also kind of indirectly where their 7th round pick went. It went to the Steelers, who sent them a 5th round pick, and that went to the Vikings. Now, one of the biggest uncertainties the Ravens currently face is the future of Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown lined up at right tackle for them last year, but wants to switch over to the left side, which isn't surprising given the disparity in pay between the two positions. Now, if Brown was to be traded, the Ravens would be looking for a 1st round pick or at least a 2nd round pick. And that would obviously change their draft strategy, that they'd be looking for an offensive tackle. For the moment, though, we're going to assume that Orlando Brown stays with the team. Now, with Orlando Brown put, the biggest need the Ravens would probably be looking to address would be safety. Midway through 2021, the Ravens lost Earl Thomas. I say lost, he was cut from the team. He had a training ground fight with Chuck Clark. It was a culmination of a series of shenanigans. He was cut from the team. There's still legal arguments over whether he's going to get paid this year, what the impact on salary cap is. It's quite a mess, but the Ravens are down a starting safety. They also lost Matt Judon and Yannick Ngakoue in free agency, so they could definitely do with some additional depth at pass rush. The defensive line are all over the age of 30, so medium to long term they're going to be looking at replacing those guys. Then on the other side of the ball, Sammy Watkins was brought in at wide receiver, but there's still question marks over that unit, and I think that the fans are clamouring for a more exciting player there. And then just given the amount that they rush the ball, it just wouldn't be surprising if they get tempted by a running back at some point within the draft. On the whole, it feels like the Ravens could go quite a few ways in this draft, but given that it's a general need for a lot of players rather than a pressing, urgent need to replace someone, they have the luxury of taking the best player available at most slots rather than being forced to take a position. Now, safety is a position which the general thinking in the league does not value highly. And therefore it's no surprise that there's only one safety who's projected to go in the 1st round, and that's TCU's Trevor Morig. Now, Morig had 7 interceptions and 21 passes defended over 3 years in Fort Worth, and is a top prospect at the position. And he's forecast to go somewhere towards the end of the 1st round, so he could be a viable selection for the Ravens. If the Ravens waited for the 2nd round to take a safety, you could have Jevon Holland or Richie Grant available towards the back end of that round. Oregon's Holland, in particular, would be the type of player the Ravens would probably want. He's very ball hawkish. He had 9 interceptions over 2 seasons with the Ducks, and so would be giving them that kind of interception threat. If the Ravens look to address a pass rush early on, they could target a player like Bronco Nagurski Award winner Zavon Collins late in the 1st round. While not a prototypical edge rusher, he picked up 4 sacks in only 8 games for Tulsa last year to go alongside 4 interceptions. He looks suited to play inside or outside linebacker in the Ravens 3-4 base scheme and could be the best player if still available on the board at 27. Look for the Ravens to target some big developmental defensive line prospects in the middle rounds. The drop-off in talent from projected 1st round picks like Christian Barmore to those taken 70 to 80 slots later isn't as significant as it is at other positions like tight end. Within that middle round grouping of defensive line prospects, look for maybe a player like Tyler Shelvin to fit the scheme that the Ravens run. That's the Ravens.